given we've got two wars going on, Ukraine and also Israel/Gaza, and oil is at 76. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. What are you looking for to happen to oil next year?
So we have a forecast of around $100 the barrel, in the sense that we are still also questioning precisely the geopolitical elements. And if anything, that's a horizontal element for our forecasts. We see it in the stance of the U.S. economy, the stance of the oil, the stance of actually China too, and its relationship with the world, how geopolitical elements are going to be affecting all these things. If anything, we see still commodities ex oil trying to be a little bit stronger than what it has been towards the end of this year, because we see that places that are mainly export countries of commodities are going to become on top, precisely because they are removed from a lot of the hot places around the world, the wars that are going on and everything else. In that sense, Latin America, we see that it's something very interesting that we're going to be looking next year. Places like Brazil and Mexico, if we add to that the rear-shoring and the near-shoring elements that we can see that go in decrement of the Chinese stance, of course, which is linked to your previous question. But to answer in a specific, we see that oil is going around 100, but then it's very dependent on the geopolitical front.
Indeed. Yeah, wild card, as I said. John, real quickly before I go, IIF, the club for banks, commercial banks globally. Obviously, you're going to be also very keen to try and figure out what the rate trajectory is in the case of the Fed, right? This whole idea, rates are coming down, okay, that's not the question, right? So the question is basically when they're going to start coming down. March, June, whenever. Where is IIF on this?
So we see something coming up after Q1 2024. We are still more positive, as we are in China, more positive in the U.S. economy, because we see a disinflation process that has been very positive for the U.S. economy. And we see that the Fed is going to start affecting that. Even though we are talking about rates, which is something very, very important, which is going to have repercussions pretty much in the U.S. economy, but also across EMs, because this is going to actually incentivize money going precisely into emerging markets and going into portfolio flows mainly. We also see that there's other tools in the toolkit of the Fed and other central banks that are able to actually utilize like QT and some other elements that could also incentivize easy money and therefore incentivize more capital flows. In that sense, the policy response from emerging market central banks is going to be something really interesting. We have seen a lot of emerging market central banks actually going in front of the Fed decisions and trying to cut already, even before the Fed is actually signaling a real cut. But to your question, after Q1 2024.